Hello friends, you're watching India Today Tech, and first of all, apologies for not putting up any new videos since the past 2 weeks and missing out on the latest stuff. Actually, I had traveled to Kashmir for my skiing classes. I had a great learning experience. I was in the Adu Valley of Kashmir, which is also known as the wildlife sanctuary, and we were lucky to find lots of snow and ice there for our skiing lessons. I also found out that Kashmir is a very beautiful place, and not only that, the people there are very hospitable and friendly. If you travel frequently to the mountains and if you haven't explored Kashmir yet, I think you should definitely go there once. Now back to the tech world, I had many phones to catch up on. Xiaomi launched the Redmi phones and Motorola also announced its Z2 Force. Many companies are gearing up for MWC as well, but what caught my eye and my favorite hands-on for today is the Moto Z2 Force. We had been showing this phone like this for the last few days, and I was surprised to see that the phone's display doesn't have a single crack. In this video, I'll also tell you about all the features of the Moto Z2 Force and should you buy it at its price of 35,000 rupees, with which you also get a battery mod. Let's get started. The Moto Z2 Force, just like the Z2 Play, looks a lot like the previous generation Moto Z phones. This is a result of Motorola's promise that at least 3 generations of Moto Z smartphones will be cross-compatible with the Moto mods. So the company basically locked the general design in place with first generation of Moto Z phones. Like the Z2 Play, the Z2 Force is made out of 7000 series aluminum, which feels incredibly premium. The design has also seen a few incremental polishes here and there. The edges are more rounded, which enhances the in-hand feel, and the fingerprint scanner is larger and much easier to use than before. The dual camera setup at the back has a substantial bulge, which can be forgiven as it acts as a place for Moto mods to rest. But yes, Motorola has cleverly integrated the antenna lines in a dark colored plastic band around the back panel, which looks quite elegant. The Z2 Force comes in jet black color, unlike the Z2 Play, which is available in gold and grey variant. So in terms of looks, the Z2 Force is a cleverly designed phone which is very light, slim and handy. In no sense it looks like a phone that could withstand drops. But let's wait and see. The Moto Z2 Force comes with a 5.5-inch Quad HD Super AMOLED panel, which is one of the highlights of the smartphone. It is not as bright as the Z2 Play, but it is vivid, sharp and has excellent viewing angles. The colors also may not be accurate like the LCD panels, and we showed the difference in our comparison video in other phones previously, but the Z2 Force does have better resolution to make up for it. The panel can support 4K video playback on YouTube and renders rich and vibrant colors. Another big USP of the Z2 Force is the fact that the display is shatterproof, which means it will not break or crack from everyday falls. Motorola calls this technology Shatter Shield. We dropped the phone from shoulder height, waist height and even forcefully sometimes to test the phone's capability to withstand drops, and it has been working fine since day one. Normal phones cannot suffer such drops for a long time. However, the plastic Shatter Shield display scratches and dents easily. Within 2 weeks of usage, which also included a lot of drop testing, our review unit of the Z2 Force started to look old, thanks to a scratched display. What is also disappointing is the fact that the Z2 Force lacks a headphone jack, while the thinner Moto Z2 Play retains it. Motorola doesn't include Type-C headphones in the box as well, but you get a normal convertible cable that lets you attach the bundled 3.5mm headphones. Also, the phone has big top and bottom bezels that make the phone look quite old-fashioned in today's times. Now, the design of the phone is very similar to the Moto Z2 Play, which is one thing I like. It's a very slim and handy phone, but it has a lot of bezels at the top and bottom. If you were to compare it with phones like OnePlus 5T, this phone is bound to get a tag of being old. But if ruggedness is a concern, Z2 Force is a great phone to buy. Like in Kashmir, I was very hesitant to take my phone out for shooting or vlogging. But if this would have been my phone, I would be fearlessly taking it out to shoot anything or use it in the field.
When it comes to performance, Moto Z2 Force is no less than a flagship. It houses a Snapdragon 835 chip with 6 GB of RAM and 64 GB of internal storage, which is expandable via microSD card. Since the configuration is same as the OnePlus 5T and the interface also being nearly stock, the Z2 Force has no hint of lag, be it multitasking or day-to-day use. App loads are seamless and quick. Switching between them takes no time. The extra RAM and top-end chipset ensures graphic-heavy games like the Asphalt 8 and the Modern Combat 5 run with best graphics possible on a Quad HD screen, giving you an ultimate gaming experience. The speakers on the phone are also front-firing and have great audio quality. The few additions Motorola has made are genuinely useful and do not take away from the soul of stock Android in any way. Apart from the display-related features, there are nifty gestures such as twist to open the camera and double chop to turn on the torch.
Z2 Force is also one of the first few phones to come with Android Oreo out of the box. Last phone we had seen to run Android Oreo out of the box was the Honor V10. And while the Honor V10 doesn't have stock Android interface, the Z2 Force does. In fact, all the Moto phones come with nearly stock interface, which is the best thing about these phones.
As for the cameras, the Z2 Force has dual sensors at the back. It is a monochrome and color sensor combination with 12 megapixel resolution on both of them. The camera is exceptionally fast. There is no shutter lag even when using dual cameras in the bokeh mode, and the photo appears instantly in the gallery. Photos taken in good lighting conditions from the Z2 Force turned out to be satisfactory during our review period. The cameras work wonderfully, capturing good amount of details and accurate colors, though the dynamic range is not that good, and you will see in photos like this that it is not very capable of handling tricky lighting situations that phones like iPhone 7 or the Google Pixel are. And this is the case with low light photos as well. The shots are soft and have a lot of noise and graininess. The shutter remains fast, but the vibrancy in the photos are missing. If you were to compare, the cameras are not as bad as the OnePlus 5T, but it is far from the flagship grade. The second sensor in the dual camera setup allows you to take black and white photos, which come out clean, but it is also responsible for taking bokeh shots with background blur, and they are nothing great either. Images tend to have tearing and jaggedness around the edges of the subject that is in focus, and the blur effect doesn't feel very natural. There are some nifty tricks in the camera app as well, like object recognition, which works most of the times, but takes quite a long time to process.
So in a nutshell, the cameras on the Moto Z2 Force is nothing great, but it's not bad either. You can say they match the OnePlus 5T standard, but they are not up to the Pixel or the iPhone standard, which is fine because Motorola has very aggressively priced the Moto Z2 Force. If it were a 50,000 rupee phone, we would call it very bad cameras, but at this price, there's something that you can live with.
On paper, the Z2 Force's tiny 2730 mAh battery should disappoint. It runs a Quad HD display and a hefty chip after all, but in reality, the Z2 Force easily lasts a day with moderate to intensive use. During our review, the phone returned 5.5 to 6 hours of screen on time, which is amazing for such a small battery. And the best part is, Motorola has actually made the mod support useful with the Moto Z2 Force straight out of the box. The Turbo Power Pack mod that comes free with the phone extends the phone's battery life to a couple of days when used in endurance mode, if you can live with the mod attached to the phone, or you can use it to charge the phone's battery within a few hours and remove it. The former is a more efficient use of the battery mode.
So should you buy the Moto Z2 Force? There are very little reasons that you should not. It's a rugged phone, but it is still a very premium device, and it doesn't fail to show that on the face of it. Except for a few hiccups like a missing headphone jack and a hybrid micro SD card slot, the phone doesn't have many shortcomings. In fact, it is one of the few phones to come with Quad HD display and the only phone to have a Shatterproof display and mod support. I think if you don't really love the bezel-less design that much, Moto Z2 Force is a better buy in that price range. Let us know what you think about this phone in the comment section below. Also, if you've liked this video, hit the thumbs up button and share this video with your friends. Subscribe to our channel to get latest videos like this delivered directly to your inbox. Thank you for watching.